So I was talking yesterday about this group from Israel with the best geologists, geophysicians they had. Cluj and the intimacy there. But then another thing happened. They had this tour of Romania. We went Brasov, Cluj, Piatra Neamț. We stopped to see a synagogue there. Also in Cluj, we went, and in other places, to see and sometimes, in some cases, to eat kosher food. That was a problem. I remember in Brasov, we first stopped outside of Bucharest, and I had to go to the kitchen in the restaurant to tell them that some of the members of the group, I guess there were about 40, 50 or so, a whole bus, but 20 out of them were Orthodox Jews. So they stopped, they had the prayers, but also in terms of food, it was very strict, and we had to see that, first of all, I'm sorry, they didn't cook whatever they have and mix with the other things, because then it's not kosher anymore. Even if what the composition is, it's kosher, it's not pork, or obviously. Still, if it's the right thing and it's not cooked, in isolation from it's tainted. It's not. So they had foil with them. They knew this is the communist days. They knew the shortages here, so they brought their foil with them, and everything cooked for the kosher. Not all were so restricted in what they were eating, but for the kosher people, they cooked. They had to wrap it in foil. Termina. And it had to be, of course, limited to the list. No pork, special. Don't mix cheese with milk, cheese with meat. Only certain types of fish and such things. And it was a challenge, more than a challenge in most places here. So that was one trick in this adventure. Very intelligent people, and I've learned a lot from this group. And I used to say, when I first worked with people from Israel, I was a bit overwhelmed, because they were demanding. I spent this much, I expect service. But it was a good school. I learned and whatever I achieved, money, and after some time I could, let's say, grow this business, make money. And in large part it's because of the school. I mean, in the communist regime, this notion of service, of customer, was in so many ways absent. What customer? What service? What is there to sell? We have nothing. We have no food. We have no services. No electricity. No. So this is a question of survival, and then the other notions. The fucked up Animal Farm. We're all equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And it was a fight for survival. It was a distorted reality, a dystopia. So fuck the customer, okay? And they show the other side. I mean, being a customer means this: you paid something, you expect something, and then you don't tolerate and the absence of goods. Like here, okay, I mean, we pay for bread for anything, and we're happy we have anything. If it's molded, if it's black, if it's rotten, if it's altered, if it's good that it is that. No, it's different. So I learned from demanding customers. Sometimes it was difficult. I will get to this in a moment. But let me first mention the mentality opposed to this. So with the same group, we stopped in Pietra Neamț. And in Pietra Neamț, I was friendly, as I mentioned in the previous episode, with these two women in particular. It was an excellent group altogether. As I said, the best geologists they had, and with that, bright minds in any community set against any standard, geology or whatever. So, one of the two women, or both, it doesn't matter, they told me about the problem in the room with they didn't have hot water, they didn't have soap, some other things were missing. The sheet was torn, there was more than usual. I mean, some things kept happening. Again, communist regime, okay? So on the one hand, you were pressed by customers who paid money and expect decency, if not luxury. So, okay, that was that. And on the other, you had the problem: electricity cuts, no hot water. Sometimes they didn't provide the necessary for some of the meals or any meals in the restaurant. Okay, but here the problem was different. It was a question of attitude. I also noticed, speaking of Cluj, Moldavia, when traveling to Moldavia, the standards were lower. I was unhappy with that. I mean, because under the same communist regime, in the same country, when you cross the mountains into Transylvania, you found a better standard, cleaner. I mean, they made an extra effort. If they didn't have, like in the rest, access to much, if anything, the human factor made a difference. It was better. In Moldavia, that's why they vote with the red plate today. They have this backbone mentality. Not in the cities, not everywhere, but still. We'll see at the next elections. Maybe I'm proved wrong. I hope, inshallah. So, I told at the reception, they mumbled, they didn't like it. It was a complaint. They were rather rude, but the cherry on top came the next day. The next day I paid, the guide has to pay the bills, sort anything if something was wrong, if it missing, if somebody lost something, if try to find it with a reception, whatever, details or major problems. But now something different happened. I was called as I was busy in trying to do this and fix everything, and so that we move to the next destination, whatever it was, the monasteries. I don't know what that was. I remember this episode. I was called to an office, maybe of the manager freed for this incident, and I was given a lecture, more than a lecture, something like a lesson, a threat, not extortion. What's the name? Some verbal abuse anyway, and vicious, aggressive talk from a guy, the colonel, Securitate colonel, the local KGB, in charge with it, was surely called by the manager of the hotel, somebody, and said, well look, there was some problem at the hotel. They complained, and you better do something to fix it. Let's not go into all the details because I don't know them. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, so to say. I know the fact that this guy was, and it shows the attitude. It was like, so what the, didn't say that, or maybe he said, what the fuck, Chipula, man? What do you do? You encourage you, on what side are you? You're one from here. What the fuck do you side with these guys for? What's wrong with you? I mean, this is the Western corrupt foreigner that you don't have to. I didn't say anything. I thought, I mean, I'm going to tell, that will be interesting, back at the office about this and see what they say, what the solution is. Because, so I went and I said, well, now you have to, you did the right thing, you have to report this. And so, because at the tourist office, they want you to bring back clients. They want you to have the satisfied customers, so to say, within limits. And if Ceausescu regime demands, asks you to shoot them, I guess they will give you a gun and you will shoot them. They will expect you to shoot them. I don't know if they would, if you would. But as it was, you were trained as a guide, as a man or woman who is there to offer good services, to have them happy and write good reviews on the internet. No, it wasn't there yet. So, and repeat business and all that. So that was the view. And I said, okay, so what do we do in the future? I mean, do we tell them shut the fuck up if because the local colonel will be angry, or no, no, no. You, of course, they have to fix the problem. That was. I mean, they didn't call upstairs on it, so that it was a bit of a stupid thing, because there will be parallel instructions. There will be parallel institutions. Those were the tourists in charge. I have to finish this because, well, yeah. So that was it. And then, of course, another bigger thing happened in Prana Bracho, but about that tomorrow.